Ìbàdàn.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
Bàbá ló rán mi wá, ẹni wá ló gba tèmi. Gbogbo àbínú ẹni o, ẹ jẹ́ lọ dákẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́. Bàbá ló rán mi wá, ẹni wá ló gba tèmi. Gbogbo àbínú ẹni o, ẹ jẹ́ lọ dákẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́. Àbòsí ti dáyé ọ̀nà jíjìn, ìkíṣí ti dáyé ọjọ́ ti pẹ́, kéjà pẹ̀lú ìlara o, ó ti dáyé ọ̀nà jíjìn o.
Oluyole FM Onjalala Onja tòòròtò Oluyole FM Òkìlẹ̀ létí. Oluyole FM ó báradọ́gba kìíní sìn bí ọmọ àwélé ó já gàràgà ní fara olùkọ́yìn tètò tó ń ti ròyìn ní yùngbà ajídára bí ìṣù ẹ̀lú fi ká fábẹ́lá tẹ̀ 98.5 FM ìkòkò ọbẹ̀ fún gbogbo ẹlẹgbẹ́ tó kù máa gbọ́ lọ.
Oluyole FM 98.5. Oluyole FM 98.5.
From the city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the Pacesetter state, this is Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
Unbeatable, untouchable, the station that does it better. Oluyole FM 98.5 Ìbàdàn.
You're on to Oluyole 98.5 FM, always a media giant in a class of his own. As usual, we no talk is cheap, gossip is empty. Anytime you need balanced, objective, incisive analysis of news headlines, we can work both, of course, at home and, of course, the international community. The platform is conversation. And whenever it is, you have the duo of Tola and Bimbo. Rest assured, the time is right and the house is set. It's conversation.
Unbeatable, untouchable, the station that does it better. Oluyole FM 98.5 Ìbàdàn.
Conversation.
A very good morning. This is Oluyole 98.5 FM on the stables of the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Welcome you to Conversation. This Friday morning, the very first day in the month of May 2026, and it's May Day. Well, apologies for starting the program a bit behind schedule. The papers are long in coming in this morning. All right. I said it's May Day, and conversation where we bring you stories making the major headlines in the dailies, and we do our best to give you top-notch analysis. In due course, we get to open the phone lines. We've got to be a part of our little talk show, and together we try to understand and make sense of those major events unfolding around our country, our nation, and our world. That is what we do on Conversation. And of course, we are networking on Oluyole FM 96.3. That's our sister station in Alaga in the Okogore of the state, Agility FM, Gambari, Ogbomoso on the 92.1 FM dial. And no one beats our reach. Yes, all over the world we are there. You can also tune in via our social media platform, Facebook. We're also on YouTube, and you are on to Conversation. Wherever you are listening across the world, you are welcome. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for joining us on the program Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 right here in the city of Ibadan. And of course, we are streaming live Oluyole 98.5 FM. No one, no station beats the reach. Yes, we want to congratulate Nigerians, congratulate workers on the occasion of the Workers' Day, May 1. Yes, and we hope all will be well for workers in the state, local governments, in the private sector, the federal government. Yes, we hope, and we hope that the federal government will also take into cognizance that the situation in the country is really affecting workers and Nigerians as a whole. Yes, that is what we have to say from our end here. And labor leaders raised fresh concerns over rising insecurity, poverty, and the shrinking space for decent work in Nigeria. And they want that worsening economic conditions were undermining workers' welfare and national productivity. Well, these concerns, like I saw yesterday, was expressed at the pre-May Day lecture convened by organized labor in Abuja ahead of the 2026 Workers' Day celebration. And the president of the Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, said insecurity and poverty had become major obstacles to decent work, stressing that millions of Nigerians were trapped. Yes, so that is the
Trapped.
Yes. It was a story that we read, I think 2-3 days before that. Somebody said, even if a federal government worker earns 1 million naira, koleka.
Unless something is done about the cost of living. But away from that now, update on politics in Nigeria, and that involving the major opposition in Nigeria. It says there, Supreme Court okays ADC's mark, Axis PDP's Turaki.
Okay, they've asked the Turaki faction of the PDP.
And then, so much that happened yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm trying to look for this story online.
Yeah, let me check it here. According to the Punch online now, Mark-led ADC survives as Supreme Court voids the PDP Ibadan Convention. Well, let us see what it is all about here. Well, the Supreme Court on Thursday delivered 2 major judgments that dramatically reshaped the internal leadership battles in the African Democratic Congress and the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The Apex Court invalidated the PDP's controversial Ibadan Convention while restoring the ADC leadership structure headed by former Senate President David Mark. Hours after the judgment, key leaders of the PDP, including Governors Seyi Makinde from Oyo State, and Bala Mohammed Bauchi, alongside members of the Board of Trustees and the National Executive Committee, held an emergency closed-door meeting in Abuja. And the meeting, which was held at the Bauchi House, Asokoro, Abuja, was ongoing as of the time of filing this report last night. The high-level meeting had in attendance members of the BOT, that is Board of Trustees, the National Assembly Caucus, the National Executive Committee, the National Caucus State Chairmen, and ex-official members. And in the judgment delivered by Justice Mohammed Galba, the Apex Court restored the ADC leadership structure headed by David Mark and former Osun State Governor Ralph Aregbesola as National Chairman and National Secretary, respectively. And the dispute arose after a suit was filed seeking interim and interlocutory injunctions restraining the INEC from recognizing Mark and Aregbesola as officers of the party pending the determination of the substantive suit. Well, that is what is on ground now. The Ibadan Convention has been axed,
Nullified. And then, well, I'm wondering what next now for that faction of the PDP and for the PDP as a whole. I don't know. Well, some people, when they were trying to interpret these things, and the kind of what you may call informal interpretation outside the interpretations of the lawyers and the legal experts and the courts. They were saying that it is still the chief puppeteer at work, and he's also controlling the apron strings from Abuja. That is what we've been hearing from the grapevine, and that what happened yesterday was actually set to happen. To give an impression that it is not a win-win situation for the puppeteer.
Yes.
And that, some people would have to go back to the Federal High Court. And then start all over again, and then invariably it will still be the same thing. You know, that nursery rhyme, ring and ring of roses, and then you go around and round and round, and at the end of the day, we all fall down. So, well, I don't know if that is what is happening, but that is what people suspect could be happening. Well, the Makinde faction, the Turaki faction of the PDP, they had that meeting behind closed doors in Abuja yesterday. We do not know what they discussed, but ultimately, well, there was also an effort to forge a coalition, and then very formidable elements were at that meeting in Ibadan very recently. So maybe that coalition is what would replace whatever is left of that faction. Maybe they would be merging into that coalition. But then what I do know is that the PDP is still going to exist as a party.
Yes.
So what their outing is going to be like with this kind of situation, if it persists, is what I do not know. What their outing is going to be like in 2027.
Well, the PDP case, the Apex Court, nullified the party's national convention held in Ibadan, Oyo State, on November 15 and 16, 2025, stating that the exercise was conducted in defiance of a subsisting court order. I can't remember that subsisting court order, but a 5-member panel of the Apex Court, in a split decision, dismissed the appeal filed by a faction of the party led by former Minister of Special Duties Taminu Turaki, SAN, and affirmed the concurrent decisions of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal, which nullified the Ibadan Convention. I think a High Court in Ibadan upheld that convention.
It was one court told them not to go ahead. Another court said they should go ahead. So here we have the matter of conflicting court judgments coming up here again, and the interpretations of the law.
Of the law, yes. Yes. Let's go to other stories here now. Well, I thought I was asking you about yesterday asking about hate speech and all those. Yes, people now were confirming. Now, Tola, President Tinubu, the Lion of Brillion, our governor, he has reshuffled the power sector. He has appointed a new minister and advisor.
Joseph Tegbe.
Yes, Tegbe, former governorship candidate. He's a candidate, aspirant, yes, and who was, led to the mountaintop and just left behind.
But when you hear Joseph Tegbe, you think more about finance, you think more about arithmetic, you think more about mathematics.
Yes.
And then
accounting
and finance. So, well, he's supposed to be the administrative manager as Minister of Power. So, but then I don't know. Chief Bolage was a lawyer. He was also
he was a lawyer.
Minister of Power, became
Power.
Minister of Power, and also the immediate past minister now. He was also a finance person. He was former CBN,
Yes.
CBN deputy
Governor. Yes, Forex.
So, no, I'm saying all this because I think we should have, considering the peculiarities of that sector, considering the complexities, considering the high-level politics that has bedeviled that sector, considering the several clogs in the wheel that have held that sector back from meeting the expectations of Nigerians, I think it should be treated as a specialized sector. So someone who is very familiar with that terrain ought to be minister. That's what I think, my opinion here. And if to say things were okay and everything was normal and we have the ideal situation, then I would say that, okay, you can't have somebody in finance, you can't have somebody in law to head the power sector. But with what we have now, so many problems to be solved, so many technicalities, we need someone. I believe we need someone that knows the A to Z of the power sector, that knows the politics especially, that understands the principalities and powers that somebody mentioned, and that person said that those principalities and powers will never allow the power sector to work. We need someone that understands that understands those things. Yes, Joseph Tegbe, highly cerebral individual and a technocrat by excellence. That's what he is. He is a technocrat by excellence, and he is a very, very, very brilliant fellow. One of Africa's most brilliant intellectuals, if you ask me. But then there's as much as he can do. My opinion here, if you put him in that sector, I would have thought that maybe he would be offered the position of finance minister. I think,
yes.
But then somebody is already in that seat now.
Putting the round pegs in the round holes, it matters a lot. Yes. One might have a knowledge of, a little knowledge of that situation, that sector, but your own specialty, that is what matters. It matters. Now, like you said, late Chief Bolage is a lawyer, knows about law, he is specialized.
And Chief Bolage said he was going to turn stone into bread.
Yes.
That's how he boasted. But it's not about him being a lawyer. That's not the reason that Bolage was not able to perform in that sector, but because, like I said, so many complexities, principalities and powers in that sector.
Yes.
So it is for that reason that I'm saying that someone who understands those principalities and powers, and it will take somebody who is a technocrat in that sector.
Yes. Now, let me just quickly go through the story. After months of blackouts, President Bola Tinubu began a fresh restructuring of the Nigeria's power sector with the nomination of a new Minister of Power and the appointment of a special advisor to head a presidential task force on sector reforms. In a move aimed at accelerating reforms in the electricity value chain, the president nominated Mr. Joseph Tegbe as Minister of Power, subject to Senate confirmation, while also appointing a former Power Minister, Mr. Lanre Babalola, as Special Advisor on Power and Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Power Sector Reset and Restoration. And the developments were contained in separate State House press releases issued on Wednesday by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. Well, Tola, I hope Joseph Tegbe, I hope that, I pray rather it will make a difference. But the power sector, everybody knows that I think there's a problem there. The jinx must be broken by someone, by one personality.
But then, people, it's already twilight for the present administration, and how many months to go? And there's just as much as he can do, like I said. And then already many Nigerians, from the feelers I got yesterday, so many Nigerians were skeptical, not because Joseph Tegbe, not because he's incompetent. Of course, he is a very, like I said, he's one of Africa's most respected intellectuals, and of course, he has proved his mettle in his own sector, in his own primary constituency. He is a highly respected Nigerian citizen, like I said. But then, why Nigerians are skeptical is the fact that others before him have been overwhelmed by that jinx. So what people are saying is that he's also going to be overwhelmed by the jinx in that sector. He's not going there to solve anything. And like I said, it's twilight. Just how much can he do? Well, of course, unless there is a chance for the current government at a second term, and Joseph Tegbe is retained, that is when we can. But then we wait and see, Bimbo. We wait and see. And it's not going to be just about Joseph Tegbe alone. If he can overcome the principalities and powers, like I said, and if he can overcome the complexities, the many clogs in the wheel of the power sector that have refused that wheel to move through the years.
Yes, Tola, let's move to Rivers State now. Tinubu's directive triggers new power play in Rivers ahead of 2027. Yes, Rivers State again is in the news. Well, it's a kind of write-up, and the report writes on the uncertain political situation in Rivers State. Yes, Governor Siminalayi Fubara's chances of securing re-election in 2027, and President Bola Tinubu's directive placing governors above lawmakers, among other related issues. And now the mood in Rivers State over the past year has been politically calm on the surface, yet uncertain and confusing beneath. There is no gainsaying that the fallout from the political crisis triggered by the disagreement between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his estranged political godfather, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, still hangs over the governors of the oil-rich state. And it is surprising, Tola, that even after the widely publicized reconciliation, yes, between the two political gladiators, following President Bola Tinubu's repeated intervention, all is still not well. Yes, as we all can see, and as mutual suspicion continues to linger among the key actors.
Remember, we all know that directive by President Tinubu that the governors will decide the fate of the serving senators, whether they are going to return or not, or who gets the ticket for the senatorial seat, does not apply to Governor Fubara. We all know that.
Yes.
We all know who is going to decide the fate of the senators in Rivers State. The masquerade in the FCT, like I always like to call it.
Masquerade.
It's the one that is also going to decide the fate of Governor Fubara himself. That's something that everyone knows. So if Governor Fubara does get a shot at a second term. That means that he has had to make certain sacrifices, and he has had to compromise certain things, and he has made a very elaborate promise to continue being a good boy. For me, my opinion here, I don't think the FCT masquerade is going to trust him again, like it trusted him the last time.
The last time, yes, and Wike's repeated remarks, that the mistake of 2023 will not be repeated in 2027, and a veiled reference suggesting he may not support his successor's second-term ambition, and that has further placed Governor Fubara in a politically tight corner.
I don't think the man himself is even talking about a second term, at least not yet. So I think the best he can hope for is to have a soft landing.
Yes.
And that also depends on how far he's willing to be the good boy. But why ADC, Accord, ZLP, AAAPP should be deregistered? AGF tells court. Now the AGF wants these political parties deregistered. And even Accord and ADC is asking that they should be deregistered. Okay, let's see what this is all about.
Who is calling for?
The Attorney General of the Federation. Fresh trouble may have come the way of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, along with 4 other opposition parties, following a suit filed in the Federal High Court in Abuja Division, seeking the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to expunge their names from list of registered parties. Now, the suit followed an affidavit deposed to by the incorporated trustees of the National Forum of former legislatures, with INEC listed as the first defendant and the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice as the second defendant. Apart from the ADC, other parties listed as defendants are the Action Alliance, AA, Action Alliance, AA, Action People's Party, APP, Accord, and Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. The Attorney General of the Federation is represented in the suit by a team of lawyers led by Professor J.O. Olatoke, SAN, which also include O.J. David, O.O. Olufadi, D.O. Bamidele, V.D. Maye, and Wahid Abraham and A.K. Abdul Mumin. The action of the Attorney General was equal to an affidavit on the need to assert the powers conferred on him under the Constitution as #1 law officer of the country. In the affidavit, the plaintiff averred that Attorney General should act accordingly by seeking INEC deregistration of the 5 parties, having failed to meet the benchmark on electoral performance by political parties. At the center of the issue in the case is whether the Commission has a constitutional obligation to remove parties that fail to meet electoral performance threshold set out in Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution as amended and reinforced by the Electoral Act 2022 and INEC's own regulations.
I haven't heard about this in so long. I don't read any political meaning into this. How can the AGF now say that some political parties should be deregistered because they have not met some conditions? Talking about the political line.
Well, let's look at it this way. It could indeed have some political undertone, but then if indeed they have not met certain criteria to become registered political parties.
But they have been registered for a long time.
Oh.
Yes, well, and they participated in elections.
Well, maybe they were not supposed to be registered. So, well, they were registered before, but then the issue now is that even despite they have been registered, they still did not meet. Okay, I'm trying to look for that paragraph that stated the reason. Okay, that they failed to meet electoral performance threshold set out in the 1999 Constitution as amended. So maybe when certain number of states or whatever is in that aspect of the Constitution. So what I'm saying here is that let's look at it this way. Someone is accused of corruption, and that particular individual is a formidable force that wants to run for political office, and then at the very time that it seems to be gaining popularity among the people. This matter of corruption comes up, and of course everybody says that, oh, that's a political undertone. But the fact remains that okay, there is evidence that there is corruption against that particular person. So of course whoever is going to court is not going to back down, because yes, he has facts. So this is the law. We are talking about the law, even if it's a matter of having political undertone, as long as they have those grounds to ask those political parties.
What I'm saying is this law, this section of the it has not been invoked in a long time. Why now?
But then the fact remains that it's there. And it can be invoked anytime it is convenient to do so.
Well, let's go to security issues now. Insecurity. You remember the Ekiti worshippers that were abducted. Now a ransom has been announced. Bandits demand 1 billion naira ransom for abducted Ekiti worshippers. Now, gunmen who abducted several worshippers during an attack on a Christ Apostolic Church parish in Ekiti State have demanded a ransom of 1 billion naira for the victims' release. Residents of Oluyole in Ilejemeje local government area of the state, Ilejemeje, yes, where the incident occurred, are still grappling with fear and grief. The gunmen reportedly stormed one church during a revival program around 7:15 p.m., opening fire for more than 30 minutes before whisking away 15 worshippers into a nearby forest. The attack also claimed the life of a visiting pastor. Yes, I remember. While families of the abducted victims continue to await updates on rescue efforts, and following the incident, community leaders intensified calls for improved security presence in the area. So that's the situation now. Improved security, presence in the area. That is according to leaders of the community. Do they not know that they should have been proactive?
They said that they have deployed 148 battalion of the Nigerian army in the community, over church attack.
Yes. What puzzles me, this thing continues to occur. You remember, you always say, we will wait until another one occurs. This one, okay, fine. They have, demanded for 1 billion naira. At the end of the day, I know that the 1 billion naira will be, reduced. But why are we always waiting for, the government, the security forces? They will say they are on top of the situation. They will condole with families of those either killed or abducted. They will come and say, yes, no problem, we will do everything. They will give families some money. At the end of the day, the police or the army or all other security agencies will say, yes, they have, they have gotten the kidnappers. Those who were kidnapped. Yes, and we will not see anybody. We will not see any kidnapper. We will not see any terrorist that have been either killed or arrested, and they will be claiming that they, rescued the kidnappers. So,
I feel we're quite sad and then sorry to be sounding so pessimistic this morning. Now, this deployment of troops to the community, and then we often hear these stories, reports coming from those communities, though unconfirmed, that anytime the government cares enough to deploy these troops to the communities, it is not exactly to rescue the victims, but to prevent those communities from taking their fate into their own hands, from going after the terrorists themselves, from going after the bandits themselves. For reasons best known to the government, they do not want the vigilante groups to do anything. They get there, the first thing they do is to disarm the vigilante groups and not go after the terrorists, who in any case are not really in hiding. So that's why I said, well, I don't know, because I'm surprised that they are so quick to deploy those troops this time around.
Yes, and I know that the security, the community leaders, some of them, even the head of the community, some of them might have been compromised in this situation.
Let's have this quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Wake up. It's choco time. Donna Choco is here with a taste you love. Just open for and enjoy the chocolatey bite. Donna Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, taste it, love it. Donna Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, I love it.
Introducing the new Dano Choco 3-in-1. It's tasty, creamy, and satisfying. Taste it, love it.
Conversation.
Right, we're back, and it's good to know you are still there. It's still conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Right, back to labor matters. Rethink Labor Welfare Strategy (CPPE) or GSM government. Well, it's Mayday, and quite a number of messages to do with labor welfare. The Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise (CPPE) has called on national and sub-national governments to fundamentally rethink labor welfare strategy to enable Nigerian workers survive the current economic realities. The center made the plea in its policy brief tagged Beyond Wage Increases, Reframing Labor Welfare Priorities in Nigeria, issued on Thursday. It expressed concern that discourse on labor welfare has been largely dominated by wage negotiations, particularly against the backdrop of rising inflation and escalating cost of living. The organization argued that while wage adjustments were necessary and often justified, it however believed that they had become clearly insufficient as a standalone strategy for improving workers' welfare, especially in an economy characterized by persistent inflationary pressures, structural bottlenecks, and weak public service delivery. So the message basically is that we must do something about the cost of living.
Yes.
Not just increase wages.
Wages, yes. Cost of living. You might not increase wages, but let the environment be conducive for Nigerians, for workers to live. For example, if petrol price, diesel price, kerosene price was very minimal, is very minimal. If food cost is minimal, if other activities that are affecting lives of people, are on the moderate level, it does not mean that it is not necessary that you increase workers' salaries. You understand? If all these are in the normal on the normal level, like I said the other time, one personality just said that if workers' salaries were increased to 1 million naira minimum wage, 1 million naira, it will not solve anything. We will still be on the same pedestal.
But we also have
well, I have here, U.S. charges 3 Nigerians for alleged fraud. Yes, that is always in the news. It is not only in the U.S., other parts of the country. And well, police arrest bandits, informants in Katsina. And this one says, yes, it's a kind of drama. Fulani herdsman sentenced to life slumps in court. I think it was after the sentencing to life imprisonment. He now slumped.
He slumped.
Yes, he did not expect it.
Oh, maybe, or if he's trying to play a drama like the politicians do, it's not going to work. He's not a he's not a politician, and he doesn't have that executive aura around his neck.
Yes,
so tó bá bó ṣe slump yẹn wọ́n jí padà.
Waji.
And the one service
Yeah,
sentence.
he was sentenced to life in prison for kidnapping and cattle rustling. Yes, and only to slump in the dock.
Right, let's open the phone lines. 070-5555-1985, and we have our first caller here.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Please move away from
Okay, okay. I want to say something more to you.
Okay.
Yes, the issue of new power minister. I want to believe that is great that what he will perform. You from now till next year or the end of this year, God say our life, you will see the difference in power sector. That is great. This on the increment of salary or whatever that the labor is clamoring for. As you actually said, you are 100% correct. There's no, if the minimum wage is 1 billion naira, thing will still remain at least. The only thing I believe that you can do it. Let's have the pest control. That will help us a lot. God bless you. Have a nice day at work.
Thank you very much.
070-5555-1985.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ekele. I like from Lata Show. Happy New Month.
Yes, same to you.
I just want to comment on the Supreme Court judgment yesterday. It has sent the ADC the National Working Committee back to High Court for further hearing. The lesson I want a politician to learn from this judgment is that any party they want to adopt or align with, they will study the constitution. Also, they go front and back to court today or tomorrow. The time is not there. The time is not on their side. Secondly, on the nomination of new minister of power, I wish him success as his past Senate screening. I wish him success. So, have a nice holiday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, the program is still conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 right here in the city of Ibadan. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I think he is calling from the city here.
Good to have you, sir.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good morning. We are with you.
What do we expecting our government to call all artists? Either bedroom or any other thing, just to call all artists. Well done, my people.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tola, we haven't heard from Mr. John from Iloni for a
And
while.
Baba Dedayo.
Baba Adedayo too. Well, I know all is well. The program is still conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 in the city of Ibadan. Numbers to call 070-5555-1985 and 080-55009850. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Yeah, Monsieur.
We are calling from Elitania Promotion.
Good to have you, man.
Happy New Month
Same to you.
and Happy Workers International Day throughout the nation.
Yes, thank you very much.
My prayer for all workers is that they will use their hands to collect their rights by the grace of God.
Amen.
No problem for Mr. John is outside Nigeria.
All
And
right.
no problem for Baba Adedayo.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you for the
Thank you.
information.
What I want to say to our government is that it is not more important. But they should make sure that our fuel price is decreased in price. Because of the high price of the fuel, it makes a lot of problems for all workers, and those that are not all workers' salary. If they want to work for, they should make sure that they reduce the price of them. Because the one of problem that we face, most of common people in Nigeria, if you collect 1 million for salary, you need to buy food. use 700,000 to buy for month. The 300,000 naira not enough for workers to live comfortably. What do you help them with more person?
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Monsura from Ritanera, and thank you for the information about Baba Adedayo and Mr. John from Oluyole, and wish them well. Yes, the program is still Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 in the city of Ibadan. Yes, 07055551985 or 08055009850. Conversation is the program.
Women mega rally signals movement from participation to power, says Minister. That's the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman. In the declared the 2026 Women Mega Empowerment and Rally represent a decisive movement from participation to power as Nigerian women mobilize on their unified platform. Well, I believe that when I see it, when it comes to the use of power and inclusion in governance, that women are their own problem. Remember, there was Sarah Jibril now, the woman that wanted to be president of Nigeria, and she took a number of women to the PDP convention in Abuja during the Jonathan administration.
Yes.
And by the time the votes were counted, there was only one vote for her. It was her own vote. Even the women she took to Abuja
did not vote for her.
I just imagine. So, and then I'm sure if you had been one of those men, she also would not vote for the woman.
And she might have collected some bimbi, you understand,
from the other politicians.
Yes. Hello, good morning. We lost that. This one says UK trial. Jonathan admits approving the Ziani's use of private jet. Well, Diziani, she has a case, during after President Jonathan's exit, and the former President Goodluck Jonathan told a United Kingdom court that he approved the use of private jets by former Petroleum Minister Diziani Maduke for certain overseas assignments carried out during his administration. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
I'm doing a good job.
Thank you.
See, we have the power sector. If Taylor continue mentioning something I so much like, he was emphasizing powers and principalities in the power sector, and which is exactly what has been troubling the system since all these years. And the more reason the chief Bolagi did not succeed when he was made the minister of power, despite being a lawyer. In fact, the framework that man used in that position then, he really meant what he said, though, that he would turn stone to bread. I could remember my street then. We are using 300 kV. They changed it to 500 kV, and the light just got stable. We don't even need stabilizer for any of our equipment, and that was how he was doing it all over the country. But he failed because of the man that put him there, the ambassador, was not behind him. Osilen could support him. He just gave him that position to trap him up. And with that experience, I now gathered that this present minister of power, in fact, I can guarantee you 1,000 times he will succeed, because he has a backup that is serious. Who happens to be President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? He meant business. He is doing things courageously. He fears nobody except God. Unlike the past leadership we have been having, who will fear this or fear that. So Otegbe will succeed and Nigeria will succeed this time around. Let us just continue to pray for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that the time he will leave that seat, that 2031, Nigeria will be among the committee of nations that are doing well economically by the grace of God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 082 55009850.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am constituting for Shaki.
Good to have you, sir.
The problem we are having the power sector is not the president of the food here. It is the base of corruption that is there. It is the one that is connected people that are putting there. Let's say for everybody the food here to succeed in life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But we can still take one or two more calls. 5555.
I am saying one story here. Remi Tinubu rolls out 1.2 billion naira, 100 trucks of rice for vulnerable northern families. We do have vulnerable northern, southern families.
I think almost every Nigerian is vulnerable. But give me that rice, I will accept it. But then, one question I keep asking, I don't want to be able to answer, is that how come the first lady is able to cover that much money from her personal purse?
Is a personal purse? It is a foundation.
A foundation.
Yes.
Many people will be involved.
Yes. It's a foundation, and I believe that is one of the tactics, towards the 2027 elections. Hello, good morning.
Our last caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Adimola from Ghana.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much, Imran.
Yes. Quickly.
Happy Workers' Day. You see, a large number of workers